people of Melbourne love their coffee. And it would be hard to find another place in the world with such a varied culture devoted to all aspects of the coffee bean. Their passion began just after World War II, when Italian immigrants brought their espresso machines with them to their new homeland. Today, you'll find an excellent cappuccino on every corner. Nolan has been spoiling his customers for quite a while now with exquisite filter coffee.
Filter coffee will be terrible if you don't do it right. And that means people probably find it easier to hide bad coffee in milk and sugar. So a cappuccino is much easier to make it taste chocolatey and sweet. Whereas filter coffee, you really have to have good coffee to start with, good green. It has to be roasted to a nice level, and it has to be brewed correctly. It'll show up in the cup. And to me, that's what's so magic about coffee, to have a good coffee. There's so many things that can go wrong, so you know when you're drinking a good coffee, you're really lucky. It's a really special thing, you know?
The whole process is ingenious. The barista weighs out the exact amount of coffee and grinds it. When it's made in a siphon, the coffee brewer uses a vacuum. The vacuum is created in the glass that then draws the boiling water with the coffee through the filter, completely smoothly and evenly. And this is the best way to retain the flavour and taste.
My first job, I got to wash dishes. I washed dishes faster than anyone else. They called me Turbo. And then from there, I got to make coffee in this place. And it was a really place that took coffee seriously. I got to make coffee for myself. One day, finally, I got to make coffee for a customer. And I watched the coffee go out to the table, and I could see the customer like drinking the coffee, and the eyes roll back. And that feeling was like really nice, that I just made something and made them feel good, and they appreciate it and made their day better.
Nolan goes to visit the coffee farmers in Central America from whom he buys his beans on a regular basis. This gives him an opportunity to check on the quality of the coffee types and the working conditions of the pickers. Fair trade is personal for him.
Melbourne's an amazing city. I love it. For me, what's great about it is I'm constantly challenged by the city. So no matter how crazy we get with our ideas for a coffee program or whatever we want to do, Melbourne's ready to embrace it.
Right now, Nolan is supplying 14 other cafes in Melbourne with different types of coffee that he produces in his own roastery.
There's a lot of science to roasting coffee, but I think it's really important to have some kind of connection with the coffee also. So your gut, your instinct. With coffee, if you have that conversation with the coffee, I think it's really important. So the whole time I'm going to listen carefully and smell carefully and just try to understand what's happening for the coffee, you know.
Roasting coffee is all about having the exact synthesis between the temperature and the time. And if Nolan misses the right moment, the beans turn dark and taste bitter. So the timing has to be adjusted for each type of coffee. The range of tastes with coffee is enormous, and it has more than 800 aromas, even more than wine.
Coffee should have character of different things, like a good wine does. The really nice heavy body is great. In the geishas here, I'm not really expecting to get a huge heavy body, but I might get a very creamy or vanilla, silky, much more elegant. Sometimes it's like a mouthful of pillows or silk or something, you know, that's amazing.
Nolan and his staff are still learning something new every day. and they pass on their knowledge to the coffee-mad people of Melbourne at their seminars each week.
For me, getting to know the farmer and the farm and roasting their coffee, there's a really amazing connection there. And then when I finally get to drink that cup of coffee and thinking back where it came from, it's a really beautiful thing.